Hi, Frank. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm really excited about being able to talk about praying for our leaders because it's something that's really important, especially with lots of concerns about politics and government and decisions being made every day of our lives. We need to be aware that uh, God cares about these things too. And, you know, we need to be praying about them. We need to be praying about big decisions, small decisions, but ultimately we need to be praying for our leaders that are making decisions. And so I'm really thankful that Frank Erb can talk with us about that today. Frank is a pastor missionary to the California State Capitol, and he has been there since 2008. He is working with and among legislators and staffers in the state capitol and has been able to build relationships there and pray with many of our state leaders. And he has a great amount of wisdom to share with us about praying for leaders. And so I just want to encourage you to listen in and take notes as we talk about praying for our leaders. So Frank, if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and kind of what you come in contact with on a daily basis at the Capitol.
Sure. Happy to do that. So yeah, as you mentioned, I've been in this role since 2008. And before that, I was a pastor in churches throughout California. And then a gentleman, a friend in one of the churches that I was pastor at previously became one of our state legislators. And so he was inviting me into the Capitol to just visit with him there while he was a state assembly member. And in the process, getting to know other state assembly members, I was getting to know them as he's introducing me to people in the legislator's private elevator or in his office or in their office. And I'm meeting people from both parties serving in our state assembly, state senate, other statewide positions. And it just hit me that these people, like my friend, are just people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no background in politics, but here I was a pastor in that political arena in our state capitol. And I was starting to have a pastor's heart for them. And I prayed and said, God, if you ever want to use me here, I'm willing. I can see the need here, but I had no expectation of anything. I was just getting to know them and my heart was going out to them. And actually my friend was terming out of his assembly position. And I went to the gallery overlooking the assembly floor session. And I'm looking down at them and I said, Lord, I know so many of them now, I feel. And I just care about them. I feel like they're like sheep without a shepherd in many cases. And if I could be of any service, let me know. I live pretty close by. And that was it. I left the Capitol, prayed that prayer again. Next thing I know, without me telling anybody, my legislator friend called me about a week later and said, how'd you like to step into the Capitol? Your name came up and there have been others in ministry there who are leaving and we really need a pastor in the Capitol. And so I thought, well, I don't know about that. But then I remembered that feeling, that prayer. And so I showed up at the Capitol and just started reaching out to them, regardless of their politics, sometimes in spite of their politics, just to help them to know the Lord and grow in Him. And now it's been all these years and God just keeps opening doors. And so I keep going in to do that and I'm rejoicing in how He's at work.
Wow, that's amazing. So, so you are able to interact with legislators as well as staff at the Capitol. How do you go about doing that? Maybe on a weekly basis or monthly? How does that what does that look like for you?
Yeah, this is a full-time position for me. I am sent in as a missionary, really, for those who want to see this ministry happen. So people are donating to the ministry so that I can go in, just like we send missionaries to other countries and people throughout the world who we feel like are in need. Well, in some senses, our government leaders are like an unreached people group, I've found.
Mm-hmm.
They're isolated and insulated. And so I feel like I'm grateful to be an extension of the churches to go in and kind of be their representative, the individuals and churches throughout California who support me to be in there full time. And so I'm there, I'm available every day to meet with people. I'm there regularly every week, many days. in there all day, just interacting with them. And it's with all of them. It's especially with our legislators, our senators and assembly members. And also, as I have the opportunity with our statewide constitutional officers who are in higher office over the whole state, and then also their staff, the lobbyists, the department heads, and state employees, of which there are many thousands all around our state capitol building. So, and then I also travel throughout California and even other states sometimes to speak in churches about this, to help people to understand what their world is like, how to pray for them, or just general Bible teaching. But I'm in there for that aim. I'm not there for politics. I'm in there to help those who are involved in politics to know the Lord and grow in Him. So I come in to speak to them personally. I request appointments. I visit their offices. I meet with them for coffee. We'll go for a walk around the Capitol. They'll come to my office across the street from the Capitol. I'll go to their district to meet with them by their home. I'm doing whatever I can. I go to their events for all of them, whatever I can to interact with them and help them. Just like a missionary would do whatever they can to be in the culture they're in. And then I invite them to Bible study groups every week. We have multiple Bible studies every week, and people come together, one just for legislators and statewide leaders, and another for staff and lobbyists. And sometimes we'll have others for them as well. And we're going through the Bible book by book, year after year. And these are bipartisan. We have Republicans and Democrats coming together to seek the Lord, and I'm inviting all of them to participate.
And do you see hope for leaders? You said bipartisan.
Yeah.
Do you see hope for leaders as you interact with them, both sides? Do you see a desire to learn more about the Lord and to bring honor to Him from both sides?
Well, it's all over the map. It's just like our neighborhood. You know, as you walk down the street of your neighborhood and you started to talk to people about the Lord, you get everything, wouldn't you? Probably, if your neighborhood's like mine. And that's how our Capitol is. It's a good representation of all of California. In fact, before I started in this ministry, I was praying, saying, Lord, I know how people feel called to a city. I've lived all over California. I have relatives and friends all over California. I'm not sure what city I'm called to. I just have a heart for California as a whole and for the whole nation. And next thing I know, I mean, I just prayed that days before I ended up getting that call to come into the Capitol. And I'm walking down the halls of the Capitol. And as you know, Nathan, each legislator's office says what cities and towns in California they represent. And so we've got legislators from every part of California, and our state's incredibly diverse in every way. And then we have staff from those districts, as well as others, lobbyists, and everybody else. And so it's really a great representative, a microcosm of our entire state of California. And I get to go into each office and make a connection, regardless of what their area is like, what they're like, and share with them about Jesus. And I love that thrill of the variety of that, never knowing how God's going to work. And so sometimes it's a wide open door, and people are thanking me and just, wow, we can't believe you're here. Thank you. Could we all gather together in a circle and pray together? And oh, wow, when's the Bible studies? And, you know, could you start a new one just for our office, which I've done many times, actually, just for a legislator and staff on a weekly basis and so on. You know, great receptivity. And that can be either party.
Yeah.
It's people often think, well, I know which part. No, it's actually both. And then at the other end, I can get doors literally slammed in my face. I mean, that's happened too. And that can be either party. And then there's just, in general, just like most people maybe, just a lot of comfort, a lot of apathy. You know, most aren't that interested in knowing about the Lord or growing in Him. But as we pray and as we go to them, God can soften hearts. And I've had a behind the scenes view of that just many, many, many times, where there's a resistance and then God opens a heart and somebody begins to respond. And I used to think, well, I can predict who that's going to be, right? Based on their politics or based on their morality or based on, and now I don't put God in that box, because I've seen time and time again, the people I thought would respond didn't. And then the ones who I think there's no way, and I've prayed sometimes, Lord, I don't want to go talk to this person. Stood outside legislators' offices
Yeah.
saying, not this one. And then I go in and God does a great work and opens their heart to him. So you never know what the Lord's going to do. So we just want to be faithful.
Yeah.